Hi, guys. This is Donald Ephraim coming to you from the kingdom of God here on earth. So, this morning, I'd like to talk a little bit about relationships. Now, I am not even by the stretch of the imagination an expert. In fact, I'm probably one of the most flawed individuals to be trying to give advice. However, having arrived at this age of 63 and had a few attempts at them, I do have some experience and observations, you know. Uh, I'm gonna try and give a little piece of experience and observation. And of course, as always, you're always free to do what the hell you've always been doing. Okay, so this is for conversational purposes, entertainment purposes, or whatever purpose you like. If you hear something that sounds good and you go, you know what, that makes sense, try it. Okay? I'm not gonna tell you to do something drastic and whatnot to get yourself out there in trouble and whatnot. And you say, I shouldn't have listened to him. So I'm not gonna tell you, leave somebody or get with somebody or stuff like that. I ain't gonna tell you that. God tried that once with Adam and Eve when he brought Eve. And then Adam turned around and said, hey, that woman you gave me, and God ain't matched nobody since. You're on your own. He gives some basic instructions. He said, just don't be unequally yoked together with a person that don't believe the same way you do. That's what he's saying, right? An unbeliever. Now, it has some other implications to that, right? However, the bottom line, if they don't believe the same way you do, don't see eye to eye, you're going to have some problems. You're going to be dealing with some stuff. Okay? So here it goes. So one of the things, before I continue, this advice really is to anyone, right? Now, of course, I'm heterosexual, all right? So primarily I'm speaking from a construct context of a man and woman. However, after working at Amtrak, I've been exposed to all forms of human existence. Okay, let me say this before I continue. I'm in no way a homophobe, especially after 34 years of working at Amtrak. I'm not a homophobe. I've been approached by the best. I have. And some of you who, have gotten those years in, and I mentioned this name, you're gonna know who and what I'm talking about. I've been approached by some of the best, and I'm not saying this in a derogatory or negative way at all. I got LGBTQ family and friends, fictive family, right? So definitely, this is not a negative. I just wanted to clear the area, clear the field. This is not a negative. I've been approached a number of times, a number of different ways, but the most direct was by a young man, late, meaning he's no longer with us. He's been gone a while, and he definitely was not in the closet. So I'm not exposing him in any way and telling you anything that the world don't already know. Okay, a brother by the name of Mike Monroe. So one day I'm there in the dining car on the train. Mike looks at me. There's another young man sitting there. Don't remember his name. But Mike said, Don, are you gay? And I said, no, Mike. He said, how do you know? I said, well, Mike, I like women. Mike said, have you ever been with a man? I said, no. He said, then how would you know? I said, Mike, I've always liked women. From the age of 3.5, as early as I can remember, I've always liked girls, okay? And so he looked at me, and you look at somebody when you're undressing them from the top of their head to the soles of their feet and back up, and he looked down, and he looked up and he said, I would sure love to have me some of you, right? And the other guy sitting across sort of shocked because he was like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna say? And I stood there for a moment. I looked at Mike and I said, Mike, I'm flattered. And Mike sort of shocked. He said, flattered? Why? I said, brother, I didn't know I had it like that. Coming at me from both genders. I said, hey, I'm flattered. Thank you, Mike. From that moment on, Mike and I became real good friends. Mike was a cool dude, never said nothing, never approached again. But I learned a lot in those 34 years working at Amtrak. So, Diamond, why are you putting that out there about Amtrak? Amtrak is a microcosm of the world we live in, where you got every race, I'm going to say every gender, okay, every conceivable idea of what a human being could be working at Amtrak. And guess what? We all worked very well together. We got along. We learned to respect each other. And most importantly, we learned to love each other and had each other's back regardless. Now, that's my personal experience. Okay? So, I want to share this about how people trying to find somebody, some of the mistakes you're making. I ain't going to list a whole bunch. I ain't got the kind of time, and neither do you. Okay? So, one of the things is unreasonable expectations. You are dealing with a stranger, a complete stranger. Regardless of how you feel about them, they're a stranger. And if you haven't known them as long as you've been alive, then you don't know them. Period. We meet somebody, we got some feelings, and start hanging out, and start interacting, and start the hugging and the kissing and carrying on, and now you in love. Man, that mess with your mind. You think you know them. You just got to be with them, right? But you don't know that person. And then you have these expectations without even knowing whether or not the person can live up to any of them. I know I can't. I cannot live up to any other human being's expectations. I can't. I know I can't. And I'm not gonna even try. That's right. I ain't trying. I'm gonna show up me. I'm gonna be me. And when I leave 2 hours later, I'm gonna be me. I'm not doing no alterations. I'm way past all that. And a lot of people don't realize you're way past. If you're dealing with people in my age, you're 40 and above, forget about it. That person is that person. That's how they is. They ain't changing. They're not going to change. There might be some slight modification. I don't have to pick my nose at the dinner table. Okay, I can change that. I wash my hands before messing with the food. Those kinds of things you can adjust. Those kind, but people's core values and principles and character, that stuff's set. That ain't changing. That is not changing, not without a fight and resentment and upset and eventually hatred. So, if you can't find a person who's already living and doing and being the way you like, you're going to have problems. It's simple as that. And it doesn't mean they're not a good person, right? I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm not doing nothing illegal. Police ain't after me. Mafia's not after me, right? Ain't nobody after me. But a lot of folks don't like how I do my business, how I interact with people and other people. They say you got too many female friends. That's what they say. You got too many female friends. You don't want me answering my phone, right? You got issues. And I'm not doing anything wrong. It's something that I need to look at and go, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. I like everything I'm doing. Okay? There ain't a damn thing wrong with anything I'm doing. But it doesn't mean that the next person's gonna like it. And vice versa. That's right. Don't mean I'm gonna like. But you know what the difference is with me dealing with other people? I try and make those exceptions that, Don, this is the way this person is. Can you not deal with this? Because that's the question you need to be asking yourself. Can I live with this? Can I live? And this goes about anything. Can I live with myself if I make that decision? Can I live with myself if I do that? See? So, it's rough out here. Now, personally, I ain't looking for nothing and nobody. Okay? I'm cool. I'm well past the BS. Don't want none. Don't need none. Don't have to have none. Okay? So, but for y'all out there still trying to find somebody, it's rough. It's rough. I would tell you just leave it alone. Figure out how to get along. The best advice I'm going to give you, find somebody you can deal with 2 hours at a time. Yes, about 2 hours at a time. I can deal with you. And then I got to go, or you got to go, right? You can stretch it out, 8-hour day, head out to the beach, hanging out, eating, enjoying the weather, enjoying the water, whatever. And then you go home, okay? So, but after you done been married, divorced, and children and grandchildren, you trying to find the love of your life? Nah, that's rare. That's the unicorn. For those of you who have done that, I'll be observing. I only know one person. I ain't gonna tell you his name and her name. They're in the relative realm of the Ephraims. And so I've been observing, and they seem to be doing pretty good. Good looking couple, and they doing their thing. And they seem to be enjoying their life. And I pray to God that this continues for them, because there's only so many things on earth that feel good. Being in love is one of them. Everybody know good sex is one of the other ones, right? That's right. So those are the two things that we all can appreciate. There's lots of other little things, having your first child and all that kind of stuff. That's all it's all in the ranking. But I just pray that this works out for everybody, those two, because I know they've been looking for a long time, searching, and found somebody. They found each other, and relationships is work. When they say what you bring to the table, right? And people are tired of hearing that. But I'm going to say it like this. How do you plan to participate? Because that's what it's about. I heard Jill Scott was talking on an interview, and she just laid it out real plain and simple. You going to participate, aren't you? You going to show up with some paper towels, some toilet paper? You're going to cook every now and then? What you going to do? If you're going to be here, what you going to do? Because that's what it's about. What you going to do? What you bringing to the table? How do you plan on participating is what it's all about. Okay? And if you don't bring much, you may not get much. But anyway, that's all I got to say. I hope somebody, can get some help out of that. But remember that you expect too much. You're dealing with a human being. Right? You're expecting too much. And I can only speak for myself. I'm at that age, right, where I don't need nothing. I don't have to have nothing. I'm living in my wants, my want tos. And in some situations, I don't want nothing. Okay? I'm fine. I'm cool. I ain't about, breaking nobody's hearts and stuff. I'm just out here living, doing my best to survive. Like I tried to tell a friend of mine, a dear person that I love tremendously. To this day, I love them, right? I'm just trying to love my family. I'm trying to love my friends. I'm trying to get to the end of the day without killing somebody or myself. That's it. So this is Donald Lee from Kingdomology.